18th February 2016, and this is Devaraja Mayuran with the news highlights of today's English dailies. The headline of Daily Mirror says SLFP want endorse separate recognition for joint opposition. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party, led by President Maithripala Sirisena, yesterday decided not to endorse the request to recognize its members in the joint opposition as a separate group in Parliament, party officials said yesterday. The Central Committee at its meeting discussed several matters including the party's future. The news below it says Mahinda Rajapaksa opens public relations office. Ex-President and Kurunagala District MP Mahinda Rajapaksa said yesterday he hoped the SLFP MPs and ministers who had joined the government would soon make up their mind as to which side they belonged. The news at the heart of the paper says UN Special Rapporteur asks Sri Lanka need not be hasty. UN Special Rapporteur on Truth, Justice, Reparation and Guarantees of Non-Recurrence Pablo de Greve has said Sri Lanka should not be hasty in trying to meet its commitments to the UN Human Rights Council in regard to issues of transitional justice, the New Indian Express reported. The news beside it says 11 SLFP MPs say want to join new party. 11 SLFP members of the joint opposition had on Thursday assured President Maithripala Sirisena that they would function in the opposition as a separate group if some of those in the joint opposition formed a new party, Minister Sarath Amunugama said yesterday. And the news says IMF audit on Mahinda Rajapaksa projects. The International Monetary Fund will visit Sri Lanka next week for a joint forensic audit behind the development projects worth $250 billion launched by the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime just before the 2015 presidential election, a senior cabinet minister said yesterday. The news below it says Vele Sudha still in business, says CID. In a report on the money laundering inquiry against Samantha Kumara alias Vele Sudha and 7 others, the CID informed court that Vele Sudha had continued to speak to drug dealers through a mobile phone and was involved in drug trafficking while in the Velikada prison. Another news says case on insulting religion put off for May 5. The CCD told Colombo Chief Magistrate Jihan Palapitiya on Thursday that the Buddhist Affairs Department had asserted that the speech made by a Muslim sect had not only insulted the Buddhist by saying Buddhists' beliefs were mythical but also damaged the spirit of coexistence between the two religions. With that news, let me move to the news highlights of today's daily news. The headline of the paper says possession of baby elephant without valid license, AG names Uduve Thera as a suspect. Sufficient evidence to initiate criminal proceeding under Fauna and Flora Protection Ordinance. The Attorney General has given instructions to CID that Venerable Uduve Dhammaloka Thera be named as a suspect and necessary steps be taken to produce him in court for allegedly possessing a baby elephant without a valid license. The Attorney General observed that there are sufficient evidence to initiate criminal proceedings against Venerable Dhammaloka Thera under the Fauna and Flora Protection Ordinance. The Attorney General has further instructed the CID that immediate measures be taken to produce Venerable Dhammaloka Thera in courts after recording a statement. The value of the baby elephant has been estimated Rs 5.9 million. Another news says Rajapaksa could not bring about a political change, says Irrigation Minister. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa could not bring about a political change, although he was able to win the war, Irrigation and Water Resources Management Minister Vijithamuni Soisa said. He was speaking at the National Productivity Awards 2016 of the Irrigation Department held yesterday. Another story says funeral of 2 gang members, security tightened in Vellampitiya. Police have tightened security in the Kitambahava area in Vellampitiya, where 3 persons were shot dead over a dispute between 2 underworld gangs. Another story says case against Lalit Veeratunga fixed for trial. The case filed against former secretary to the President Lalit Veeratunga and former Telecommunication Regulatory Commission Director General Anusha Balpitiya in connection with criminal misappropriation of Rs 600 million belonging to the TRC funds during the 2015 presidential election campaign was yesterday fixed for trial on April 29 by Colombo High Court. Another news says SLFP to take disciplinary action against dissenting members. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party's Central Committee yesterday decided to take disciplinary action against any member who criticized the party and its leadership irrespective of his or her status in the party. The committee has arrived at this decision after an extensive discussion about present political environment in the country when it met under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena in Colombo yesterday. With that story, let me have a quick glance on the news highlights of today's Ceylon Today, whose headline says UN Special Rapporteur says Lanka should not be hasty. Paplo de Grief, the UN Special Rapporteur on Truth, Justice, Reparation and Guarantees of Non-Recurrence, has said Sri Lanka should not be hasty in trying to meet its commitments to the UN Human Rights Council in relation to issues of transitional justice. The news below it says, fraud, corruption of previous regime, FCID net clauses around top MPs. Investigations into several cases of corruption and fraud allegedly committed by some of the most prominent MPs and high-ranking officials of the previous regime are said to be nearing completion, informed political sources told Ceylon Today. Another news with a red background says Fonseca's Velikada cell gets facelift. Big-time Politico behind bars soon. Speculation is right in political circles as to which prominent MP or state official of the previous regime will be next incarcerated. The speculation has been triggered by the fact that the infamous S-ward of the Velikada prison, in which former Army Commander Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca and late actor turned politician Vijayakumara Tunga were detained, is being hurriedly renovated. The FCID and the PRISIFAC are currently investigating several cases of large-scale fraud and corruption allegedly committed by several MPs of the previous regime, and investigations into 38 such cases have been concluded by the FCID. Another story says certificates of absence for missing persons. Parliament was told yesterday that the government intends issuing certificates of absence to families of those who have been reported missing, irrespective of the causes attributed thereto. And the news says, decked in red lotus, Mahinda Rajapaksa's breakaway party is on. The breakaway UPFA joint opposition faction's new political party has decided on the red lotus as its party symbol, inside sources said. The news says Harsha Kamanpilla lock horns. A heated argument erupted between Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Harsha De Silva and opposition MP Udayan Kamanpilla in Parliament yesterday when the Deputy Minister was accused of giving an inaccurate answer to an oral question posed by MP Kamanpilla. With that story, I just wind up today's news highlights. Join us tomorrow too. Have a nice day. Goodbye.